أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you to the IOU UAE Student Committee. This is a live event, and the format today is question and answer format with Shaikh Ayaz Housee. My name is Naziruddin, and I'm going to be your host today for the live event. I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you for taking the time to join us. May this gathering be a means of learning and growth for all of us, inshallah. As we proceed, I encourage you to share your inquiries in the YouTube stream chat. Our respected chat moderators, Sister Aisha, Sister Afroza, and Sister Samira, will do their best to address your questions throughout the session. We do have a pool of questions which we will be running through first. And of course, as your questions come in, we will be taking them up. We start by glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the recitation from the Quran. This is chapter 16, verse 43. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أرسلنا من قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون. صدق الله العظيم. The translation: We did not send messengers before you, O Prophet, except men inspired by us. If you, polytheists, do not know this already, then ask those who have knowledge of the scriptures. Moving forward, let's take a quick look into our esteemed institution, International Open University. In this day and age, as we all know, the learning is moving towards online education and e-learning, which can be intimidating for some of us who are not so tech savvy. And we understand that, but that should not stop us from pursuing our dream degree, from learning about our faith, about our religion, or whatever the problem. We are here to help you. We are all along the way, all along the step. Have a look at our programs and enroll before 29th of September 2024, as it's the deadline for the fall 2024 semester fee payment, and turn your fears into the stepping stones to success. So again, a quick welcome to today's special session where we will be focusing on your questions. This is meant to be an interactive session with Shaikh Ayaz Housee, who is the guest on the event today. It's a unique opportunity to engage in an open and insightful dialogue on various aspects of life, parenting, personal growth, all of course through the lens of Islamic teachings. So whether you have questions on family dynamic, balancing work life, um, balancing faith and the modern life, this session is designed to provide you with thoughtful and insightful faith-based guidance. Sheikh Ayaz will draw upon his Islamic principles, knowledge, and offer us practical solutions and wisdom, allowing us to explore how the beauty of our deen, Islam, can help navigate the complexities of our daily lives. So feel free to ask questions. Doesn't matter how big or small they are. This is a space for learning, reflection, and meaningful conversation. Let's make the most of this opportunity. As I always say, one of the best ways to learning is by asking questions. So there is no trivial question, there is no insignificant questions. Let's make the most of this opportunity to strengthen our understanding of Islam and its relevance to the challenges we face today, inshallah ta'ala. So with that, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for today, Shaikh Ayaz Housee. Sheikh Iftihar, Sheikh Iftihar Housee is a respected, motivated, and resourceful preacher and is a renowned, influential Islamic scholar in the Muslim world of today. He spent his youth in Singapore, Mauritius, and Dubai, so he's very well traveled. He resumed his pursuit of Islamic knowledge in the city of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, city Al Madina. He's an approved preacher from Ministry of Islamic Affairs in United Arab Emirates. He's also the Islamic Studies Coordinator at Next Generation School, Dubai. Shaikh Ayaz Housee has been an integral part of multiple media outlets and channels such as Huda TV, Sharjah TV, and Kalema TV, amongst many others. And he's been active in both United Arab Emirates as well as the UK, where he clarifies misconceptions about Islam to both Muslims and non-Muslims. Sheikh Ayaz helps communities with his expertise in regard to dawah towards the youth and counseling to better develop a community with a solid understanding of Islam. So I take pleasure in inviting the Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Sheikh. I hope you can hear me. Pleasure to have you on the call.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
So thank you very much, Sheikh, for joining us. We do have a interesting batch of questions that we have. So if you allow me, inshallah, I'll start with the first few and give you the opportunity to provide us in light of Islam the guidance. The first question is from a mother of 3 children, and the question she's asking is that she has a young daughter. So if she buys jewelry, gold jewelry for her as a gift, for her to wear, like chain, earrings, and rings, etc. First of all, is it permissible? And in the concept of fairness, does she also need to provide an equivalent amount, to her sons, in maybe in form of gold coins? So there are 2 questions. One, is it permissible to buy her these kind of gold gifts for her daily use as earrings and chains? And the second one is related to the fairness. So over to you, Sheikh.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. بارك الله فيكم. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. May Allah azza wa jal accept all your efforts, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make use of you to spread the word of Islam بإذن الله تعالى. Alhamdulillah, it's a pleasure to be here from the IOU University team. I've been here for a couple of times now. It's always a pleasure. And the first time having a Q&A session, we hope that it goes on by the will and permission of Allah Azza wa Jal. The question in regards to buying gold for the girls, I personally believe if I say no, I'm going to be in deep trouble from people from the subcontinent. Because I personally believe that people, they tend to save through buying gold for their daughters, having marriage in mind. All right? I might be wrong, but these from the brothers and sisters that I know who are from the subcontinent. So therefore, going back to the question is that it is permissible to buy gold for your girls. It's not a problem at all. If ever you want to buy gold for your girls, regardless they wear them, they don't wear them, what's supposed to be done in regards to gold, if you buy them gold, you got to make sure if it reaches the nisab and the hawl, you have to take out the zakah. Now, so it's permissible. The question is, how is it related to the fairness and justice of a parent to buy gold for the girl, and what about my son? At that moment, it's about the understanding of the parents at that moment. If ever they feel I'm buying some ornaments for my daughter because she's going to use it, and for my son, I buy different things, whatever he's looking for. Because you got to understand that I'm buying a ring and a bangle and a chain for my daughter who is 10 years old. She's going to wear it. And if ever I'm going to buy gold coins for my son, He's not going to benefit from it now. So the son will be like, well, I don't need gold. Get me something else. Give me a PlayStation, or get me a phone, give me a device, or get me, in that case, then yeah, you can decide and speak to your son, what would he like? As long as you're giving here and you're giving the other one, they're both happy about it, it's totally fine. Do you have to give the same amount to both of them in regards to the goal? It doesn't have to, as long as whatever the son is asking. So therefore, it's something that is broad. It's just like this. If ever the daughter is wearing medium size, it doesn't mean that you had to give medium size to the son. It all depends. He wants a clothes, you give them a clothes. If he feels that he would like to have a gift that he will benefit from, you give him that. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to be someone who is very fair, if you feel that, well, I bought almost like 5,000 dirhams of gift for my daughter, I would like to buy 5,000 dirhams of gift for my son, no problem. If he's someone who is okay with buying something which is only 1,000 dirhams, no problem. As long as you're not showing injustice and unfairness between both of them. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Very insightful answer, and I'm sure there are some relieved mothers outside of the subcontinent as well. So the next one is I think one of the common questions that I see. So I'll try to phrase it. Does the ruling against picture making or tasweer, apply to photography and videography on the mobile and cameras? Is this the same category?
Well, we need to understand something. We go back to the reality and the essence of a tasweer. This question has been taken in two different distinct and vast from the scholars. Some of them, they say that the tasweer that's been speaking about in the hadith are not the tasweer that what we have nowadays. The tasweer, what they used to do back in the days, they used to do caricature of people, and then they used to worship them, and Shaitan would play towards that. Caricature. They'll bring, and they will do some caricature with the face and the shape of the person. In regards to the tasweer that we have, the camera and the video clips, these is something that you're not creating any human beings a new form. It is the same person. You're just clicking a picture, watching a video, it's the same person. You're not doing a new, or you're not creating or manufacturing a new shape or trying to imitate the shape or a feature of a human being, taking the attributes of Allah al-Musawwir. You're not trying to do this. You just, a picture like how we're talking now, you just, freeze it, it become a picture. It's just something, this is called Musawwir. This is not according to the scholars in our era that understand this way. I am more inclined toward this understanding, because the understanding of the Prophet Muhammad in regard to this one, we say it is different. And in spite of having many scholars that I follow, we all follow, in that they do say it is impermissible, but we have other scholars that understand in different contexts where we are nowadays, in the era where we're living. And to me, I would say the photography, the clicking of the picture of a human being or doing a video does not take the same hukum, ruling of the tasweer that the Prophet Muhammad mentioned, that Allah will ask you to put life into it on Yawm al-Qiyamah. This is not, and I'm more inclined toward the scholars who says this does not meet that criteria. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. But just to add over here, it doesn't mean that you can hang a picture of a human being that you took a picture of. Still, any picture, any human being's picture, any picture with features, animals, or human beings, you're not allowed to expose them and expose them in the house. You can keep them in your phone, in an album, in your drawer. You can't put them on the table, your graduation day, or you can't put it on the wall. This will prevent the malaika from coming into the house.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sheikh. The very important distinction. The next one is, I think, from a family topic. So a couple doesn't get along with each other and have been separated for many years without a divorce. So in this condition, can the woman marry again?
No. That means the talaq has not taken place yet. So now different scenarios take place. If the man is in the picture, I'm telling you what really happened. If the man is if the man is in the picture, which means the man is around, and then the husband and the wife are not living together, she cannot marry unless the man divorce her. Or she asks for khulu', for separation, and then she waits for her iddah. If she asks for khulu', she waits for 1 month. If she asks if she's being divorced by the husband, yeah, she waits for 3 menstrual cycle, which is 3 months, and then she can marry. But now, another scenario is the fact that sometimes a man is gone, left the house, left the family for 10 years and 20 years. And then the family, the government, no one knows where that guy is. They don't know where the person is, but have he passed away, is in jail, wherever it is. At that moment, there's something called fasakh, that the judge automatically annul the marriage. Because there's a reason for it, because the man is not in the picture. He's not here anymore.
So no whereabouts are known in that case only.
5, 10, no, okay, 10 years, 15 years, now the woman has to get married. Then in this case, the qadi, the judge, will annul the marriage by force. Wallahu ta'ala.
Jazakallah khair. Next one is related to the evil eye, Sheikh. So, I mean, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with a lot of blessings. So, can we lie about ourselves or our blessings? I mean, if we don't want to share it with someone who, based upon our past experiences, is known to, cast an evil eye, and it means if we tell them the truth, this may be afflicted with an evil eye. So, in that case, is it okay to, be untruthful or lie about it? Or share your thoughts, Sheikh.
If lying would be halal in this state or situation, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have already told us. Because the Prophet Muhammad, he spoke about evil eye. He spoke about the danger of evil eye. But he never said you can lie in this situation. And in spite, he said you can lie in 3 situations, yes or no? Between husband and wife, reconciliation between brothers, and when you're in the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla in jihad. But therefore, had lying in order to cover yourself from evil eye been permissible, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, if ever someone asks you about your salary, because in your salary it's written, it is not to be disclosed, it is confidential, you have full right to say it is confidential. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and bless us all. People will respect that. Yeah. And if ever you feel that your mother is asking that, I understand, or your wife is asking that, you can tell them, regardless whatever they have, you just ask Allah to protect you from any kind of evil eye, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Right. People understand. Sometimes people may ask you, if ever they're not your mom or your wife or whoever, you have full right to say no. But I know when your mother will ask, perhaps she will want to know how much my son is earning. She might be happy. She'll be happy with Allah Azza wa Jal. If ever she feels that her son is not earning much, she might do a lot of dua. You understand? And the wife, of course, she will want to know. You can always say, Allah makfini sharra kulli dhi sharrin. Oh Allah, protect me from every evil. Evil, yeah, from every evil eye and everything. Allah makfini sharra kulli dhi sharrin, ya Rab. So then this is the way. But do not lie.
I mean, right. Thanks, Sheikh. Yeah, the next one is again between a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law topic. I think you would get many of these questions. If the mother-in-law keeps cursing the daughter-in-law, day and night, then the daughter-in-law also feels, resentment and cursing her in return in heart. First of all, is it okay? And what is Islamic ruling in this regard?
First and foremost, this is a kind of relationship when I do the marriage counseling, many divorces happen because of this, unfortunately. Because in some part of the countries, they feel that the daughter, when she goes to the house of the in-laws, she becomes their daughters. That's wrong. Everyone has to remove this from their mind. All mother-in-laws and all father-in-laws. Your son-in-law is not your son, and your daughter-in-law is not your daughter. Never ever say that, here's my son marrying so-and-so, she's going to be like my daughter. No. Your daughter-in-law is not your daughter. She is the daughter of someone else. You do not have the same right on your daughter-in-law as you will have on your daughter. The problem nowadays is the fact that we bring culture into the house. We have to stop this. We're different generation now. People might take me wrong, but let me tell you something. I've been seeing children being without father and mother, breaking family just because of the in-laws. Why do we put ourselves into this situation? We need to understand that the daughter-in-law is in this house to serve the husband. It is not fard upon the daughter-in-law to actually serve the father and the mother-in-law. Neither the sister-in-law nor the brother-in-law. She has full right to say no. She's here for the husband. But I understand in some kind of situation you may not be. You want to do some khayrat and ihsan, it becomes sadaqah for you. And then when you do it, they expect you to do it perfectly. And when you don't do it perfectly, you start to get that abuse. And it is normal in some culture, which is haram. And when the daughter-in-law start getting this kind of abuse, the son is shackled and handcuffed. He can't say anything because he doesn't know which part to take, my mother or my wife. It becomes a big problem. And sometimes I blame the husband for it. Because if ever he will be able to smell this kind of problem at the beginning, he will be able to put the balance between him and the mother. Mother is mother, cannot be replaced. And she cannot be neglected. But a wife, you're responsible for that wife. When you made the nikah, you're responsible for that wife until Yawm al-Qiyamah. For your mother, for your father, you've got other people that may be responsible for them because you got siblings, you get a father. But then you play your part as being obedient to them, respectful and dutiful to them. But you need to understand as a man what kind of husband you're actually trying to bring in the house. The problem, what happened now is that because the men do not try to interfere in a very Islamic way to make them understand, it results into cursing each other. The house becomes toxic. The mother is a very good mother, and the wife is a very good wife. Because the husband could not tackle the issue at the beginning, it turned into a bitter relationship. It happened like that in many, many other counseling that we do. So therefore, when these happen, you're actually affecting the family of the husband and wife. So when the mother-in-law, she will feel by default, that's her house. She's going to feel that, well, that's my son. I'm the one who have the upper hand. She might come and put her rule, but the wife is not happy with it. The daughter-in-law might cook something, she's not happy with it. And all this stuff happening because at the beginning it wasn't being shared, it wasn't being dealt properly. It turned out into a cyclone now. For now, what happened is she cursed, and then the other one keep quiet, and then she goes, she speaks to the husband keep quiet, he can't do anything. Now the husband hatred for the mother start to increase, the husband hatred for the wife start to increase, then he's in dilemma, he doesn't know what to do. But therefore, we need to understand that yes, we have responsibility for our parents and wife and children, but we're going to be accountable for our wife and children. Responsibility and accountability are two different things. You can't neglect your parents. responsible for both of them, but you're going to be accountable for your wife. Allah mentioned in the Quran, "Hunna libasun lakum wa antum libasun lahunna." They're like your clothes. You're like clothes for them. You feed them when you feed yourself. You clothe them when you clothe yourself. You give them a shelter. You teach them. You give them the mahar. These are the rights that they have. But therefore, going back to the question, is that a mother-in-law will curse and abuse. That's haram. She can't do that. And as a daughter-in-law, if she wants Allah to open her way, وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, if ever you're patient and you have piety, Allah will open your way. وَمَنْ عَفَى وَأَصْلَحَ فَأَجْرُهُ عَلَى اللَّهِ. And whoever forgive and reconciliate, the ajr with Allah Azza wa Jal. For therefore, we need to understand that it is a very fierce battle that happen in the house, especially when you're living under the same roof. But this is something that we need to understand. If ever the husband is able to at least give a different kitchen, not sharing the same kitchen, because this is going to cause any kind of problem, he has to do so. If ever he's unable to do so, then the husband has to actually sit down the mother and the wife and tell them the expectation about 1, 2, 3, 4, because no matter how the mother-in-law see things good, it's not good in the eyes of the wife, because they both see things in a different perspective. They both see things in a different lens, and none of them are understanding each other. And now the husband in the middle, he doesn't know which perspective they're looking at something. Therefore, it is something we say, as the sister, the daughter-in-law, she has to make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal and communicate with the husband. Let the husband know what's happening in a very nice way to reconciliate, not to put hatred into the son's heart for the mother. It does happen, and if she's cursing verbally, you just need to keep quiet, and the angels will protect you like how they protect the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and he kept quiet when the Quraysh was cursing him. May Allah bless you and make it easy upon you, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, for the detailed answer. The next one is also related to a family matter. A sister has sent a question. She's asking, Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum. I have a question regarding the daughter of 30. She has a daughter of 13 years age. And in spite of encouraging and explaining the Islamic rulings regarding hijab, if she's still not ready to practice, how to manage this issue?
In regards to hijab, she has to understand it is part of Islamic identity. It's part of the Muslim identity to wear hijab. Actually, it's not a choice, it's mandatory. But therefore, we need to make sure that we speak to them in a way that they understand the reason why we wear the hijab. We need to make them understand that the reason why we wear hijab is because Islam is the religion of modesty, and Islam they don't want to expose and exploit the beauty of women, and it means that you're being protected and preserved, having a hijab on. And at the same time, when they wear the hijab, we celebrate, praising them, doing this kind of showing that the maturity has reached. And at the same time, we need to make sure that they are around friends that wear hijab. Their mother are wearing hijab. Their aunties are wearing hijab. When the environment are wearing hijab, it becomes default upon them. It becomes normal upon them to actually wear the hijab. Or else, they will not wear the hijab because their role model are not wearing the hijab. So therefore, it is something that we have to emphasize every day, like Salah. Today they don't wear it, they wear it tomorrow. They don't wear it, they wear it after tomorrow. But still, we have to speak to them with hikmah wal maw'idah. If you speak to them in a very harsh manner, they might just hate it.
Yep.
Because we know today's girls, they're growing up, they want to show their hair, they want to show their beauty. They're going to school, the other kids are coming with curly hair, next day straight hair, afterward they're going with purple hair. So they want to try it. They're kids. They're nice, they're very curious. But at the same time, we need to make them understand you can do all these. But when you come home, or in front of mom, or in front of your mahram, you can do that, no problem. But when you step out the house, you have to cover your face, you have to cover your hair, because it's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had asked us to do. If ever you die tomorrow, when we put you in the coffin, we will have to cover your hair regardless. So do not be the first day that we cover your hair, your last day here in the world.
Jazakallah Sheikh for the answer. The next one is from a sister asking that, in the buildings, you have the security guards or cleaners, and when you pass by in the morning or in the afternoon, can she, as a woman, initiate the salam or just saying a greeting or a good morning as she pass by, because she feels that it's rude to pass by without greeting them, especially the janitorial staff or the support staff in the building?
If there's no fitna, there's no problem. If you feel that you saying Salamu Alaikum will not create any kind of more conversation with the person, no problem. Say Salamu Alaikum with a normal voice and you carry on. No need to smile, no need to say how are you. You want to say Salamu Alaikum to show them that, we're greeting you. If they are not Muslim, good morning, whatever. If they're Muslim, Salamu Alaikum. You walk, you pass by, no problem. If there's no temptation, there's no problem, inshallah.
Thank you. Right. The next one is related to Salah. So, do we have to pray Tahiyatul Masjid while we are traveling?
Yes, if you enter a masjid, yes. If you enter a masjid and then there's no salah that's coming after, for example, you enter the masjid, you just want to sit down. A masjid that's praying Salat al-Jum'ah, yeah, a masjid and a musalla are two different things. A musalla is not a masjid. A masjid is a prayer place where Salat al-Jum'ah and Fajr are prayed. If you go to a shopping mall, they don't pray Fajr, they don't pray Jum'ah. This is musalla. If you go there, you can just sit down, no problem. If you go to a masjid that prays Salat al-Jum'ah and Salat al-Fajr, some ulama says, then if you go there, even you musafir, and you just want to go there and sit, or you have time for Salah, you want to sit and then wait for Salah, you pray rak'atain tahiyat al-masjid, regardless, you're musafir or you're muqim. You're musafir or you are resident.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. One quick question, Sheikh. How many do you know of any Iraqis in UAE for Ruqya?
Well, I know one brother that are from the subcontinent, and I know two from Medina Munawwara, and I can share their phone number to the administration. If they want to share it to you guys, you can take it, inshallah. And because Iraqi in the UAE, they're not allowed to do anything except by the permission of the Awqaf. So the two from Sheikh Wadin, Sheikh Abdullah, Allah yahfadhuma, they are from Medina Munawwara. And we have one brother who's from India, mashallah, and he does it as well, voluntarily. I can share the number. And then if ever the admin would like to share with the questioner, she can do so.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Next one is related to Salah as well. So if we make a mistake in Salah which needs sajda sahu, and we forget to make the sajda sahu at the end of Salah, will the Salah still be valid, or do we need to repray?
If ever straight away after your Salah you realize that you did a mistake and you haven't done the sajda sahu, if straight after Salah, like 1 minute or 2 minutes, do you remember? And then, I did a mistake, I didn't do sajda sahu, you do two sajda sahu, no problem. But if ever there was a long gap, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then no. Then you repeat the whole prayer.
Okay, so we have to repray the Salah because it's not valid anymore.
The whole prayer, yes.
So there are rules. So this is related to the Quran, the recitation and the memorization. We know that there are rules regarding the recitation and the reading of the Quran, which alhamdulillah most of us are familiar with. But there are specific rules for or during the writing of Quran. If somebody wants to write the verses in the Quran. And second question within that is, what are the rules for writing and memorizing the Quran during the menstruation of the woman?
Well, the rules regarding reading and reciting the Quran, we know very well. But writing the Quran is just I would say there's no specific rule for it. As to the knowledge, what I know, you want to perhaps write the Quran and then you feel that you want to write one page and then you want to recite it, or you want to memorize one page and then you write it down, no problem. Even you don't have wudu, no problem. As for the sisters on the menses, they can do these kind of ibadah while they are on their menses. So any sister who are on the period or menstruation cycle, they can do all ibadah except salah, siyam, roza, tawaf, and touching the mushaf. This is the Quran. Sorry, this is the mushaf. This is the Quran. So what happened is, touching the Quran, you're not allowed to touch this part. If you have a glove, you can open from this side. If you're on your menses, you read the Quran, no problem. If you want to recite and read, for example, from a phone, no problem. You're on your menses, you don't have wudu, no problem bi'idhnillah ta'ala. So if you're on your menses, you can read the Quran, you can recite the Quran, you can make your dua, you can go Safa, Marwa, you can do whatever you want. Except, again, Salah, fasting, tawaf, and touching the Quran. Barakallah fiqh.
Jazakallah khair. What's the ruling, and this is related to the banks and the credit cards and the loans. So what is the ruling on the credit cards if the person sets it up for the full amount to be deducted from their account every month? So basically leaving no chance or room for the interest payments. And if the person has no other means to make certain purchases. So I think you will have to answer it in two. One is that, can we set up the credit card in a way where the entire amount gets deducted? In that case, can we maintain and keep a credit card? That's the first question. Second one, and sometimes you have things which you cannot buy straight away. So how to manage that without credit card?
Number one, it is better to stay away from credit card. It is better to stay away from credit card. But if ever someone needs a credit card, they feel that a credit card might help them in paying the fees, in paying the bills, in paying, doing the online transaction, because nowadays, if you use the debit card in online transaction, they can easily track you and steal your money. But if ever you do it on credit card, it's very hard for them to steal your money. So some people, they feel it is safer to use a credit card doing any kind of online purchase. First and foremost, as advice, it is better to stay away from credit card. But if ever they the credit card, Islamic credit card, we have it from if ever you are in the region where we are now, then it is permissible, because I would tell you, I'll come there to the other one. But credit cards in general, if ever, the scholar says there are two things in here. As for the commercial credit card, you're signing a form that you agree, but if ever I surpass and trespass my limited time, I will pay interest. So you sign it. This is haram. You're agreeing to do a haram thing. You're signing it that, okay, I will do it. If ever I miss out on the 25th of September, I'm supposed to pay everything. If ever I miss it, something happened, there's no fun, I'm ready to pay interest. This is haram, because you're agreeing
You're
to do
committing.
that.
Yeah.
You commit.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, what guarantee do you have that, yes, everything's going to be sorted out before I'm going to have the money, or I might not have the money? So no guarantee. But if ever it is Islamic banking in the region where we are, in the region of UAE, for example, I've had a chat with the Mufti of Dubai, and I've had a chat with the Sharia compliance of the banks. and explain how they actually work out. And we say it is okay for the Adib, Emir Islamic Bank, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, Dubai Islamic Bank, Sharjah Islamic Bank. These are the banks that we feel that are Sharia compliance affiliated with the Ministry of Islamic Affairs. We say it is permissible because any kind of every penalty, they use it in a different form of profit or penalty instead of interest. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. But if ever you're using any kind of commercial bank in a different country, I would say to stay away from, because you will have to sign a paper that says, I'm ready to pay interest if ever something happened, or if you die, or you've gone unconscious in the hospital. So you don't want that to happen.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. The next one is related to the family topic. So, if after separation and getting the guardianship of the kids to the mother, if she limits the meeting of kids with their father because she has concerns that father is having some shortcomings morally and Islamically, so is she being sinful if she stops letting the kids spend time with their father who has some moral deficiencies? Because of course the concern is she does not want them to learn the same things or pick up the same bad habits from their father. So what is your opinion, Sheikh?
If ever it is confirmed and well known that the manners of the father is going to affect the kids, there is no problem in limiting the visiting time. If ever we know that visiting the father will actually cause some kind of issue between the kids and the father in regards to behavior and conduct, there's no problem in limiting the visiting time between the children and the father. But if ever there's no valid reason, just because of my ego, the court has given me the, to take care of the children, and I don't want to give it to the husband. I don't want them to go to the husband because I don't want my kids to meet the wife of my husband, for example, the other wife. Then this is called ego. This is haram. This is haram. If ever there's no excuse, then you have no right, because this is their children. They're actually holding the name of the father. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned the children belongs to the owner of the bed with the father. So therefore, the owner of the children of the father, and they will remain the father. So if ever the father is a drunkard, he didn't pray, he had bad habits, and he's a molester, he's someone, then you feel that children being with him is going to affect their well-being, then you can limit the visit because you have an excuse. Then it is permissible, inshallah.
Next one is related to the next question. We have a quite diverse range of questions. So next one is related to house loans. What is the ruling on Islamic house loans that use Ijara model, but the bank is also forcing the person to take out full takaful life insurance?
Well, I would say when it comes to the Islamic banking, yeah, this is usually one of the questions that I refer to back to the Mufti, those who are aware of how the Islamic Sharia compliance is going on. If ever an Islamic bank who says and swear that they are upon the Sharia compliance policy as per the Quran and the Sunnah, and they're giving out loans, and then they will take the money, they will do trade or ijara or mudarabah, or they will do marabaha, any kind of thing like that, then we can trust them. And at the same time, forcing someone to take an insurance is not permissible. I mentioned Shaykh Al-Uthaymeen, Shaykh bin Baz, Shaykh Al-Bani, rahimahumullah jami'an, taking insurance not permissible unless someone is really, really in a state of health issue, and then he cannot pay the hospital, and this might lead to death. then he can take a health insurance. Apart from that, you don't take any insurance unless it is a must to do so, like car insurance. You take the lowest one because it's a must for you to do so, because it's part of the rule of the country. And if ever you have a choice, then you should not take any insurance. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
Right. Next one is a little bit of a more of a student for, so for the students that we have acquiring knowledge, studying in university, so then a teen home. So as you know, you, there is a big pool of students who full-time and then have part-time studies. So what would you suggest as a routine for them? Or you have any recommendations based upon your experience?
1 minute, because I did not get your question. It was breaking.
Or let me repeat it again. Apologies. So for the students of knowledge, who attend the university and take care of home, like IOU students, right? We have people who are working full time. At the same time, they are studying at IOU as a part-time degree. So that in that situation, how would you suggest a routine based upon your experience and knowledge?
Perhaps you're talking about the barakah in time. First and foremost, we need to be able to structure our time. If we do not structure our routine, then let me tell you something, you will fail in the schedule of your day. First and foremost, student of knowledge went to university, and they go to the university. And the first and foremost thing I would say, in order for you to have barakah into your time, is to recite the Quran in the morning. By the time you recite the Quran, Kitabun anzalna mubarakun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that this book we have revealed to give you barakah. So right after Salat al-Fajr, you read the Quran, you will see your barakah in your time will increase. By the time you got barakah into your time, you'll be able to structure your schedule of the day. And you go to bed early. Second tip. Read Quran in the morning and go to bed early. Then when you're energetic, spiritually and physically, you can do many things. But therefore, after university, if you feel you may need to do things before university, or you want to do things after university, there's no problem. Because sometimes many people who are married and having children, they are into university. Perhaps some days you may be able to focus a lot. Sometimes you may not be able to, because maybe you are sick or your children are sick. So you go according to the flow, but put your seeking knowledge as a priority when it comes to the university. And at the same time, you need to make sure that you're not neglecting your family. Your family is someone that you're going to be responsible of and accountable of. And I know sometimes some women, they work or they study. Then it happens that they neglect their children. This is something which is wrong. You need to know how to balance it. Before balancing, you need to get barakah into your time, and then you have a good sleep. Because if ever you do not have a good sleep, you're not going to be energetic. You're going to be lethargic. It's going to be hard on you. Barakallah fiqh.
Jazakallah khair. So if I summarize it, I mean, it's like if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Voilà, exactement.
So next one is related to Salah. When you're joining a congregation prayer. So if I enter the masjid and the Imam has started the second rakah, so if I join in, it's my first rakah. So should I still read the tashahhud since it's my first rakah? And what happens during the third rakah of the Imam when it's my
Yeah,
second rakah and the Imam is in the third? So yeah.
no problem. You just need to follow the Imam. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إنما جعل الإمام ليؤتم به. The Imam was made to be followed. But therefore, we need to understand and we need to know that whatever the Imam does, we follow the Imam. But does our intention and the intention of the Imam has to be the same? No. Maybe I'm praying Dhuhr, he's praying Asr. Maybe I'm praying, for example, Salah Musafir, he's praying Salah Muqim. Maybe I'm a traveler, he's a resident. Maybe, he's on the third rak'ah, that's my first rak'ah. No problem.
Yep.
So when you enter the Imam and the Imam is in the second rak'ah and you are entering, that's your first rak'ah. Allahu Akbar, that's your first rak'ah. You follow the Imam. You're going to ruku', you're going to sajdah. And then you sit for tashahud. Read tashahud. You get up. You read behind the Imam, that's your second rak'ah. And then you go down. You get up. That's your third rak'ah. For the Imam, it's the fourth rak'ah. No problem. Make taslim, you get up, you do your fourth rak'ah. No problem at all. But follow the Imam, whatever the Imam is doing. If the Imam is in tashahud, you read tashahud. If the Imam is doing his third rak'ah standing, and for you that's still for your second rak'ah, no problem. Carry on. At the end, you do the rak'ah and continue your salah after the taslim.
Jazakallah khair. Inshallah. So if sisters, a mother and daughter are praying at home in a jama, do they have to give an iqama?
It is sunnah to do so. If they do not do so, there's no problem.
All right. And the next one is pretty interesting, Sheikh, because it's an age of AI. We hear about ChatGPT and all. So what is the ruling of using AI to write the school assignments?
If ever the school allows it, you can do it. If the school do not allow it, you can't do it. Simple as that.
All right.
If
So
the
of course,
school allows it, you can do it. If the school do not allow it, then if ever you do it that way, it will be known as cheating. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
so it's guarded by the arrangement and the sort of restrictions by the school itself. Is it permissible to earn money from playing games?
Some scholars said no, some scholars say yes, because all depend upon what are the games. Some people play football, they earn money. Some people play tennis, basketball, cricket, they earn money. Halal, not halal, halal, permissible. If ever you're doing some kind of game that includes haram and immoral values, that's not permissible. Game that's going to have music and indecent stuff like that, no, don't do that. And then some scholars say this is such an easy money that, you play games and then you earn money, unless if ever there's nothing such as gambling or nothing like that, then fine. Because if ever you're playing those games, we want to ask where the money is coming from when you're being paid. If ever the money is coming from gambling money, then of course haram. If ever you look at the players, cricket players and football players, the money is coming from sponsor, TV broadcasting, the fans outside, the camera and all these. Yeah, they are paying for the salary of the people who are playing the football games and the basketball games. But as for the people who are playing video games, usually they put money. They all pull money in, and then whoever wins take all the money. Haram. It's not permissible. No, it's not permissible. If ever there's a company that have competition, and then they say, or an organization, they compete. You don't put the money. As a competitor, you don't put any money. You just go in there, and then there's a competition, and if you win that game, could be PlayStation, football, Tekken, whatever, you get the money as a prize, that's fine. As long as you do not put money, or else once you put money and you lose that money, it becomes gambling, maisir. May Allah accept it.
Inshallah. What are some of the books a student of knowledge should begin with? Starting with Quran memorization, Aqidah books, Creed, and so on. So maybe for somebody who's just looking back into or starting up, what would you suggest for a student of seeker of knowledge?
There are many books out there. A seeker of knowledge, first and foremost, they have to be very concrete in their Aqidah and foundation. The book of the three fundamentals, usul al-thalatha, very important. The book of, for example, of tafsir al-Sa'idi. They read in English, is very good, from cover to cover. They learn many things. You have the book of fiqh al-Muyassar, or Islamic jurisprudence by Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan. These are the book of fiqh you can read. The book of hadith, of course, have all this hadith, and going into Shaykh bin Uthaymeen's commentary of Riyadh al-Salihin, very good.
Yeah.
For hadith. You know, we spoke about fiqh, tafsir, and hadith, and aqidah. Aqidah you can go into, of course, Tahawiyah, and then you have Kitab Qurratul A'yun Muwahhidin, Tafsir Aziz al-Hamid. If you have these kind of books, and if ever the admin want me to write them down, we can write them down later on. These are the books that you can start with, and I would say that's sufficient at the beginning. You learn that, you study that, you master that. You can start teaching that to people. Seerah, you know, for, we could say, beginners, English, Splitting of the Moon is good. The Steel Nectar is good. You know, it gives you a good, it gives you authenticity and references in those books. These are good books for the English speakers. For Arabic, we've got different books. Barakallah fiqh.
Is it permissible for men to wear rings? And if yes, on which ring, which finger can they wear it? And of course, this means we are not talking about gold rings because gold is not permissible for men. So just normal rings.
Any other ring is permissible. It is a sunnah to wear the ring in the small finger, either the right one or the left one. We have hadith that the Prophet Muhammad wore on the right one. We have hadith that the Prophet Muhammad wore on the left one. They're both permissible, and a person may wear in whatever hand he wishes. And this is something that is not a matter of dispute among the ummah. Just we have different hadith where different scholars and madahib prefer one over the other, and both of them are authentic. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
Sheikh, couple of other questions. We are approaching the top of the hour, so just trying to squeeze at least one more, inshallah. Let me pick a one which would be most representative. So a woman who is around 40 years old, can she travel before completing the iddah?
Which iddah? Divorce iddah or widow iddah?
It's not mentioned, but if you could answer both, that will be appreciated.
As for the divorcee iddah, yeah. If ever she feels she has to travel somewhere, we would say it is something that she needs to, then she can travel because, you know, she's still at the end of the day, well, she's still the wife of the husband. First and foremost, we have to understand she's an iddah and she's the wife of the husband. She will still need permission to travel if she has to. All right, this is a divorcee one. Okay, if the person has no problem in her traveling and another mahram is bringing her here and there, no problem, she can travel. As for a widow, she's not supposed to travel unless there is an excuse and a reason to do so. She stays into the house of the late husband until 4 months, 10 days, and then later on she can start traveling. If in between she has to travel to go to stay in the son's house because there's no other mahram in the home country, then she can. Let's say, for example, how many husbands pass away and then they leave their wife without mahram, and then the son is in a different country. In this case, can she travel and go and stay there? Because in the place of the husband, there's no mahram. She's actually going to be unsafe. In this case, yeah. If ever she has to, and then she go there, she stayed in the house of the son. If ever she had to do an operation medical operation, then she may travel. That's for a widow, not for Hajj, not for Umrah, not for any leisure purposes. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, for your insightful answers and of course for your valuable time and information. I think we have reached the top of the hour. And again, thank you very much for being with us, and inshallah see you soon. I'll just go back to some of the logistics part of it. So if you allow me. So as we draw this event to a close, I'd just like to remind everyone to check out our previous and upcoming events. You have a quick snapshot of some of the key events that we have recently done or are upcoming, and the links are posted and the details are normally available. You can see some of them available. Going forward, you see further contact information. The UAE Student Committee Chairperson email is displayed for all the queries. Directly below is the IOU help desk for any additional information or for any support required for any assistance with any of the processes. So to conclude, Jazakallah khair, everyone. I hope today's session was beneficial. It was for me very insightful. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.